Her parents sent her to school with a bag, but she came back in a body bag. This is a story of a girl called Justina who was murdered by her boyfriend. So let me tell you this story. Justina was a bright 300 level student at University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. This girl, she was so cheerful, soft-spoken, always carrying a smile that makes people relax. Her friends joked that she was too gentle for this world. But you know what? None of them knew how true that statement would become. Her boyfriend, who was called Damian, was a final year petrochemical engineering student. He was so intelligent. He was this quiet type, but lately, strange things started happening. He no longer comes to class. He stopped picking calls, and he was always searching for quick way to make money. And those places he normally search for, those places includes online. He goes extra mile just to make money. People noticed that he started locking himself inside this room 7, which was his room number in his apartment. He stayed inside his room for hours, chanting, whispering, burning things. People were so afraid of him. One fateful day, his girlfriend Justina came around and she totally disappeared. Nobody suspected Damian. He acted normal, even waved at neighbors that morning Justina disappeared. But at night, oh God, something happened in room 7. A neighbor later heard some scream that night, which was very sharp and short, like someone's voice was instantly cut off. The neighbor knocked on Damian's door, but there was silence. When I mean silence, dead silence. The next day, Damian came out sweating in the morning, and he was dragging a Ghana must go bag. He told neighbors it was an old clothes he wants to go and maybe dispose or something. But something was wrong. A thin line of dry blood was on the zip. That evening, the entire building began to smell. A heavy rotten odor that felt like it crawled into people's nose and refused to leave. The whole environment was smelling. Tenants started complaining, thinking maybe it was a rat that died in the ceiling or somewhere else. But no, the smell was coming out from Damian's room. When the landlord finally came to check what was smelling in his house, he had to forcefully break into Damian's room because he was the only tenant who was not in the compound. Nobody was prepared for what they saw. In the middle of the room sat a same similar Ghana must go bag, tied, twisted, and leaking a dark thin liquid onto the tile. Inside the bag was body parts, cold, pale, arranged like someone was preparing an evil sacrifice. But it was discovered, and people saw Justina's necklace lay on top of the bag. Damian was nowhere to be found. He had fled when he knew that people are looking for him. Police launched a full manhunt for Damian. Social media exploded. Students cried. Parents panicked. 3 days later, at 2 a.m., the police tracked Damian to a small lodge at Mbogba in the Port Harcourt area. They forcefully broke into the room, and Damian was on the floor, surrounded by candles, chanting in front of the crude shrine, trying to complete the ritual. He's trying to disappear spiritually before he was caught. When officers entered, he turned slowly. His eyes were empty. His lips were shaking. It wasn't supposed to smell. He whispered. That's why the ritual failed. The room fell silence. Every officer froze. Damian smiled. A slow, and broken devilish smile. And that smile was the last thing they saw before they dragged him away. But finally, he went to court and he was found guilty of murdering Justina. Justina have gotten her justice. Damien has been sentenced to death by hanging. I want to thank the Nigerian judiciary system for making this to happen. If you enjoy this content, please like, follow this video, follow this page, follow this channel for more videos. Thank you so much.